Okay, and that should be us going live. Let's have a little look here. Yes, it is. Good. Just wait for everyone to filter in and then we will get underway. Oh, hold on a second. Just got to sort something out. Okay, that should be good. Hello Armin and Aunt Seb. Okay, everything is looking okay actually. Always a little bit skeptical of that, knowing YouTube. And yeah, okay, everything is just fine. So we'll just wait a little bit longer because I have started maybe a little bit early. Only by a couple of minutes or so, but may as well wait. And yeah, we're coming to the end of the Ar-Adunaim campaign now, really. It's my intention that hopefully tomorrow will be the last part. It kind of depends on things that I don't really know what sort of mechanics Mordor has in place when I'm the only one that's really attacking them. Last time we didn't really get to see a lot of that because they were already getting torn apart by the time we got there. Hello, Duncan. And a lot of that comes down to what sort of doomstack mechanics Mordor has, which we'll talk a little bit more about when we get in there. Hello, Branimir. 17 hours covering USA elections and now coming to this. Well, hopefully this is a little bit more of a chilled out affair than that. I don't know if I could watch 17 hours worth of US election content back to back. I think I'd struggle to get through 17 seconds if I'm being brutally honest. Anyway, we'll load into the game. And just see what the state of play is. We stopped halfway through a turn last time because we of course had that final battle that took place between us and Enedwaith, one of our forts in our western regions. And I do intend to take I think it's Tharagrondosht is the name of the town that's on that western tip. I do want to take that region actually because it makes a much better choke point than Anulond does, because Enedwaith can come into that region because of where Anulond is situated in its region. It's right at the back of it. Enedwaith can come in and potentially be kind of annoying, whereas Tharagrondosht is right at the tip of the mountain range, so they don't really have any choice but to go through the town. So I don't want to go like too far into Enedwaith. That'll pretty much be the only town of theirs that I take, but it makes for a better choke point and it completes the regions that we have quite nicely. Hello Angel 1999. And here we are. I've also renamed a couple of the cities. So I did rename Tarik Gimmelkad to Tarik Naaru because that translates near enough to Tower of the King, which I think is probably better because I do intend to make this our capital at some point. Not quite yet because the income that we have coming from it is not that great at the moment. And I do want to sort of time it right because this region over here also isn't that well developed. So I only want to make it our capital when everything is good from that perspective. I renamed Calandros to Can Baruthiel. Baruthiel was the Black Númenórean queen that was probably the most northerly influence from the southern Black Númenóreans that they had. So it makes sense that her name is what adorns probably what will be our most northern point, at least outside of Mordor, because the most northern point of our kingdom come the end of the game will probably be Morannon, if I have my way. Or the Black Gate. I also changed the names of Ar-Minaleth to be what it actually says it is in the Ardunaic dictionary. So we've got Western Ar-Minaleth and Eastern Ar-Minaleth. You can just about see Minas Morgul over there, which is very poorly defended if we're being honest. And there was a couple of others I think as well, was there not, that I renamed? Perhaps not. Perhaps that was it. Oh yes, Can Urud, which translates to Hold of the Mountain or Hold of the Mountains, which kind of makes sense because it's pretty much what guards the mountain pass between ourselves and the hordes of Enedwaith on the other side. Anulond is still unhappy, but we're trying to do our best. We're trying to appease them a little bit as enedwaith continue to pester us. He's already moved. I think most of our units, to be fair, have actually already moved as it stands. There's Captain Gorbug. So we want to be a bit careful. This is a stack that does have Olag High in it, but mostly it'll be Black Uruks. We will, or we should anyway, start to see Mordor stacks that actually do have their scarier stuff in it, because all of their scary stuff is made in this region here. And we will be the ones who are pretty much solely going up against that. At least that's my hope. Right, so we have a few units. We will send, I guess we'll just send one of the territorial guardsmen out here just to take that fort. Otherwise it's going to make our realm look a little bit messy. But yes, basically, the situation as it stands is we're not too far away from achieving the sort of victory conditions I laid out for the campaign, really, in the sense that we want to basically cripple Mordor and take their land, Barad-dûr being, of course, the jewel in that crown. Something else, however, to bear in mind is how difficult that proves to be will kind of depend on what sort of Doomstack mechanics Mordor has in place. Now, I know that if you play as Gondor or Mordor, because you start off as pretty much the two biggest and scariest factions on the map, you know, economically and militarily, in order to make the game not a breeze for you either way, whoever you're not playing as, so if you're playing as Gondor and you're up against Mordor, and vice versa, all of their unique settlements that are on the front line region over here get Doomstacks that spawn in, if you take it. So if you're Gondor, you could absolutely try to rush down Minas Morgul, for example, but you may struggle to hold on to it because of the Doomstack that spawns. Hello, Jasteep. I'm not sure if that is the case. I'm not sure to what extent that is the case if you're not playing as either of those two. Last time we played, after all, Minas Morgul had already been taken and then fallen again, so I don't know if that one has a Doomstack. Cirith Ungol did not when we played as Lothlorien, and we were the first ones to take that region, I believe, so I would assume that that is going to be the case again. I think Morannon actually did have a Doomstack that spawned, but of course Dorwinion took that last time, so it wasn't really any of our business. And I would assume one spawns when Barad-dûr falls. Goals for today's stream are pretty much to try and sort of box Mordor in. I don't want another faction coming down to take the Black Gate, because otherwise things could get really messy in Mordor's lands. So what I intend to do is use Gimil-Zor over here to go north and take the Black Gate. And Gimil-Cad and Gimil-Thon, who I believe is in this navy here, and indeed he is going to hop off the boat here, take Ostithiel, and we will move from there. He will sort of move with his father in through this way. Gimil-Zor is just going to sit in Morannon, I think, for the foreseeable future, or at least that's the hope anyway. No one's really near enough to Mordor to actually take this gate. I think Dorwinion is still sort of messing around with Mordor's stacks up here. Well, I know there's a Doomstack for Minas Morgul and Morannon. I kind of hope there is, to be honest with you, because at this rate Mordor are not producing enough units to stop me, and I could just walk right on in with really very little trouble, and I kind of hope that's not the case, if I'm being honest. Right, so we'll go up this way, because we might be able to get a trade agreement with some people, as long as they're not elves. It would make very little sense for the Black Númenóreans to treat with the elves. These are probably the two most, so I think we can, yeah, we'll just hold on to that. We can send a couple more units across as well, I suppose, considering free upkeep, and, well, we would benefit from free upkeep a lot. Hopefully the Witch King doesn't come back down, because he would be quite difficult to stop, even with Naru Royal Guard. And we'll send an Arduzgar over there as well. Try and min-max the economy a little bit more. We could also do the same with that fort over there, but with that stack I want to keep Calanhad stocked up, and I think we're already building units in as many places as we are able. Gimil-Zor doesn't have the plague anymore, which is actually quite nice, so we should probably start building units here, but actually to send them westward more so than anything else. So let's go for a couple of units of line infantry, some Ar-Adunaim, and a couple of units of Rosadan halberdiers as well. This can be a nice little reinforcement column to head over to here, and we can start to move on Thara Grondost as well. And Gobel Merlon still has the plague. That's right. But everywhere else is looking okay. We're still building stuff in most places. So we can leave that as is. This army here as well, what I'm thinking of doing, actually that's a good point. What I do want to do, get a couple more unit of Azra Raiders, because I do want to move on. There is another Mordor town. I think they hold the town, which is positioned around here somewhere. So we do want to send over a little force led by this gentleman here, Belzagar, to deal with that. And we've got a general on the way up to Minas Tirith so that we can have some good governance there as well. The real question is, I think, do I want to go after Minas Morgul right away, right now, and try to take care of business? I kind of think we do want to do that, to be honest, because we've got a golden opportunity to take Minas Morgul. Hey there, Matt Bond. So I don't see why not, and perhaps a Doom stack would spice things up. I'd be interested to see what sort of units they would get from that. Probably Minas Morgul chosen. Probably scary stuff, I would assume. Which is why you probably wouldn't want to take it in the early game as Gondor. You need to take Minas Morgul. I probably wouldn't take Cirith Ungol immediately. I would just sort of sit in Minas Morgul for a little bit. It's a very defensive fortress, Minas Morgul, especially when you've got artillery, and Gimmelkard has got 3 artillery pieces. So, and I mean, yeah, we've got line-holding units that will be able to hold the line for pretty much forever. 2 units of Naru Royal Guard, pretty much. Yeah, I think we just go ahead and do it with the entirety of this force. We will assault. And ooh, he's actually got some units. So yeah, look at all those Orc defenders. So we can actually fight this one. I mean, he's got no ranged unless he himself is ranged. And he is not. So yeah, this is going to be very easy to fight on the battle map, I would suggest. What's funny, Matt? Yeah, this shouldn't be too much of a problem. And then we need to move our forces. We need to get a nice defensive position into eastern Ar-Minoleth. Gimmelkard's army could take down the Doomstack. I would hope so, Xavier. Considering how strong this army is. There's absolutely no music, which is weird. It should be sort of a soft theme in the background. Actually, this is the first time we've seen these guys on the battlefield, isn't it? We've only auto-resolved battles so far with the Ar-Pharazon's Faithful involved. And here they are. Looking very nice indeed. Actually, you can just about hear the music. I would hate to turn it up anymore. Well, maybe we can get away with it. Okay. That should be okay. Right. Yeah, there's no need to deploy because they're just going to... I should have maybe deployed a little bit further forward, but... You know what the dwarves hired by Thingol said to Thingol when he refused to give them the Silmaril necklace? Right. Hey there, George. Remember the garrison on West Osgiliath? Have a taste of my blade. Or have at you. This will be a really nice fortress to defend, even if the Doomstack wants to come after Gimmelkard. Whether they actually assault the fortress or not is something, but they should do. The AI rarely decides to try and siege down indefinitely in the way that they did the last part, at least from what I can tell. And even if they do, we can send over a support army from the other side of the Anduin reasonably quickly. Even if it's not of high quality, we can sandwich it between 2 armies and then they're done. Finished at this level. We do have a bit of cavalry that we can use to ride stuff down as well. I wouldn't fancy going after the Witch King with these guys though. I think the Temple Knights would be too much for them. Especially with the Witch King himself riding with them. But it's nice to have this unit of cavalry for that reason, even if charging with them has proven to be a bit of a pain. Yes, this will be ours, and this will be the settlement that we actually rename to Tarik Gimmelkard, because he doesn't want to claim the capital's name just for himself, but he will claim this. After all, he is the one that's actually taking this settlement. It was some random dude that took Minas Tirith. It was here where Sauron met the Rock. It was indeed, yes. And perhaps we can give, what was he, Balaknar the Fearless was his name, I think it was? Maybe we can introduce him to our signature treatment as well. Balaknar Sunfire, I believe is the name they gave him. Right, anyway. No. You go there. Well, whatever happens, we will be quite comfortable holding the line. Against Orc defenders, we can probably get away with just using the Rosodans as well as some pikes and halberds. Okay. Let's knock down the gate with the ballistae, and then we shall roll on in. Do you know what Sauron said to Celebrimbor when he refused to tell him where the 3 elven rings were hidden? You are boring? Yeah, and you're a knobhead, mate. I do like these little touches here that they've added in. I like the fact that they've gone to the trouble of having 2 separate versions of Minas Morgul and Minas of Eel. We shouldn't take too long getting through here.
The gates are down.
And holding on to the choke point within should not be too much of a problem. There we go. There's not really much point in bringing the cavalry in here, but we may as well. And Orc defenders, I don't actually know what the stats of the Orc defenders are, but they're going to be very low. Maybe slightly better than something like the Raiders. You really have nothing better to do with your time, do you? I would give you more of a... I would say more, but you're probably a literal child on the other side of the world, so it would say more about me than you if I started giving you both barrels. But you really are a fool.
We've captured the enemy's walls.
Okay. Good. No, not you. The other guy in here. Right. And there we go. Really though, it's going to be kind of awkward to try and convince them to get into a position where the catapult is going to actually be useful in here. So this is probably going to be quite a slow-paced battle. But we can utilise to great effect something like the crossbows. And there we go. Oh, hello, they're actually coming out here. Okay. No. Bloody fire at will is one of the most awkward things to have to remember. Right. So yeah, these Orc defenders, I mean, they're losing to just a single unit of Rosedan halberds. You are already on whole fire. I don't understand why you're still trying to utilise your crossbows in such a manner. Yeah, these Orc defenders are not doing too well. Right, and we could potentially try and utilise our catapults right now. Okay, yeah, we'll do that. This will be pretty disappointing if we get some catapult friendly fire on our Pharazon's faithful. Ugh. Well, we are doing damage, but we could also very easily end up doing damage to our own units. Okay, let's get you over here. Are you going to play some DCI? Probably not, Matt, to be honest with you. Not in the immediate future, anyway. Because I've got so much more in terms of divide and conquer that I could do. Yeah, we're not taking many losses here at all, either. A few on the halberdiers, but the least important of our units. Our Pharazon's faithful are doing a fantastic job so far. What on earth is going on here? Just one orc defender has managed to slide his way through the lines. Okay, yeah, you get in here. Giving an attack order. Hey there, Ricky. Glad to have you around. Okay, yeah, they've finished that orc off. Good, they didn't even need the spears. Yeah, I can't really stomach election talk, to be honest with you. Hey there, Isaac. Yeah, J-Monster's been putting in a lot of really good work on Silmarillion. Of late. Gondolin is looking very, very nice. Definitely the most high fantasy faction I think I've seen in a Lord of the Rings mod so far. Even among the some of the reforged stuff they've added, which is fairly interesting. They aren't going to rout, I don't think, so maybe we can get away with just having the Rosadan on the front line as well. Fully upgraded with their armour. There's another one of them coming forwards. Slowly but surely just melting them all away in melee, actually, more than anything else. Want to send forward the stuff first that is more easily replaced, to be honest.
We are ready to strike.
Let's get some archers into place, because they are sort of moving around back there.
We are ready to strike.
Can we actually, I wonder... I mean, we're probably just going to end up hitting our own men. Frustratingly. The final version going to be so much faster. I mean, hasn't DCI been in melee for so long at this point? When a Dunedain campaign, we haven't seen that part yet. Not next, Angel. If you're hoping for a Northern Dunedain campaign next, that will not be what's happening. For a start, Windy's doing a Dunedain campaign at the moment. And also, like, because of like the Númenórean edge to it, it's a little bit too similar in terms of theme to the Ar-Adunaim. I want to, as best as I can, I want to follow up campaigns with something completely different on the next one. I don't want to sort of be stuck doing the same campaigns, same type of campaigns over and over. And it's looking like it may very well be Erebor that we do next, actually. Okay, let's actually get the Ar-Pharazon's faithful back, because we don't want to be utilising them all that much, because we need to keep them alive. We can only train them in one place still. They take so long to get up to the culture level to the point where we can build them. Right, let's get them there. I was hoping this would be an auto-resolve actually, but I guess it makes sense that Minas Morgul has a garrison. So I can't complain that much about it. How much are we actually killing with these arrows? Not that many. So yeah, you just get back over here. Will you play as Angmar or Rune? Angmar and Rune are both primarily evil men factions, and they were options when voting for this one. But the Ar-Adunaim won, so again, they won't be like next. Definitely not. I mean, I want to play as all of them eventually. That would be the great hope, but right, let's see if we can.
We are ready to strike. We wait for battle.
I mean, most of my campaigns will probably end up being long, Xavier. To be honest. I'm not someone who wants to play the campaigns as efficiently as possible, to be brutally honest, because I find that quite dull. If you see people just... Again, like the Lothlorien campaign, I did it to the extent where it was actually really detrimental to my campaign's efforts as a whole, because I tried to keep Rohan alive, and that ended up making the campaign much, much longer than it truly needed to be. But the smart thing to do here would be to get trade agreements with certain factions, but I don't want to be trading with the High Elves as the Ar-Adunaim, because that doesn't really make a lot of sense thematically to me. Stuff like that. We probably will get to the 200 turn mark in this campaign by hook or by crook.
We are ready to strike.
That's good. They won't last much longer. Well, Erebor are not the Eredluine dwarves. Eredluine, again, I would want to Dunedain as long as the fighting never ends. Yeah. I mean, the scripts for the Northern Dunedain are among the most substantial, which is one of the good things about playing as them, I suppose. Because there are certain factions for whom the scripts are actually really quite limited. The Ar-Adunaim are technically that. The most unique thing about the Ar-Adunaim is their start. But other than that, they don't actually have a lot in terms of the scripting. Lothlorien are fairly light on the ground with regards to that as well. I think you'd have to say that probably Calanhad, Eredluine and the Northern Dunedain have got the most. Love the way the Royal Legion of Ar-Menelaus in 3rd Age Reforged look. Yeah, I kind of wish that that was the model that they would... I hope they consider using that model for these boys, to be honest with you, because I do quite like this unit model, but I think that the sort of gold plate of something like the Royal Legion of Ar-Menelaus and how bulky it is really does fit the Númenórean elite. Right, come on, these are Orc defenders. The Rosodans are the ones I really don't mind losing all that much, though, because we can replenish them easily enough. We can probably actually replace them with better units once we can start pumping fully upgraded Gondor infantry out of Minas Tirith. You take down the Orcs, then Angmar, then Dunland, perhaps enedwaith. It's kind of like the High Elves, though, although with the High Elves it's easier because you've got such an immense naval presence as well. Because with the High Elves, your goals are to take down Isengard and Mordor, but your initial foes are not that. You have to take on Angmar first, and Moria. There aren't many evil factions that you don't have to kill in order to sort of make your... or achieve your campaign goals as the High Elves. I'm not playing Fortnite, dude. This is exhausting already. The Orc defenders are really hard to get rid of fast because they are kind of built to hold lines. Maybe we're to the point where I actually need a moderator to get rid of undesirable elements.
We await your command.
We'll have to see if this continues throughout this stream. I will probably give that role to Kelvin, if it is required. I'm glad that I haven't had to do that up until this point, but everything changes at some point, I suppose.
We wait for battle. We are ready to strike.
There we go. Nice hit right into the centre mass of the unit, and that should convince them to come out, as per the usual. Ooh, everything's coming now. One more hit.
We wait for battle.
Potentially.
They all must die.
There we go.
Show us where we are ready to strike.
Right, let's just get in there. The time has come now to just finish this. I think our catapult is actually going to get caught, which is a bit of a shame. Now, they're not actually coming out with the rest of their units. Ah, we are going to get away with the catapult as well. Do you ever play other mods for Med 2? Well, I have a couple of times, but to be brutally honest, it has been a problem at points in the past where like people only really want to watch this sort of content from me. I've sort of hemmed myself into being sort of a one-trick pony in some ways, which is a little bit frustrating. But hopefully, Bannerlord and submods for it will be the thing that allows me to diversify without people losing their minds too much. That's the hope, anyway. Right, so they're not coming in with absolutely everything, which is, again, a little bit frustrating. Right, we'll just get the artillery back and we'll start shooting through the gap with our Rosedans. Some of the most well-developed mods for Medieval 2 are Lord of the Rings content mods anyway. So in that respect, I suppose it's a pretty good thing. We have actually lost quite a few Rosedan Halberdiers. Again, frustrating. Right. These lads should die pretty quickly under this weight. Do you plan on killing Mordor via the ring or the old-fashioned way? It kind of depends. The campaign will end when it feels like there's like it feels thematically appropriate to end it. Kind of like last time, where because Sauron, for whatever reason, did not drop the ring, we just sort of parked Celeborn next to Mount Doom. And yeah, I mean, the first order of business is to take Barad-dûr and then just sort of see what the lay of the land is, really. The end of the campaign as well, if Mordor proved to be like no challenge whatsoever and we just sweep them aside without effort, what I was planning on doing was instead ending the campaign with a large-scale naval invasion of the Grey Havens. Right, and one Orc defender remains. Come on, kill him, for crying out loud. How is he still alive? There we go. Okay, once again, we shall get back into shape. This time we shall have the pikes here. Everyone leave melee again. and just try to lure them out.
We wait for battle.
This is what I don't like about... This is one of the problems with the custom settlements, to be honest, where they're so claustrophobic that if you want to be maximum efficient in them... Bannerlord's cool. What fantasy do you enjoy besides Lord of the Rings? Depends what you mean, really, in terms of what sort of medium. Do you mean just all fantasy in general? Do you mean just, like, literature, like books? I enjoyed the early Game of Thrones TV series, and it got me into the universe a little bit, but that's not really the case anymore because of how poorly it ended. To the point where I don't really want to see any more of it, to be honest with you. It's one of those situations where it did really spoil my perception of it as a whole. But pretty much all of my life I've played the Elder Scrolls games, so I'm also a fan of them. Mordor building a crap ton of armies in their main settlements. I mean, we looked in the Palantir last turn by toggling FOW, and they're not really Xavier. They weren't building an awful lot at all. Do you agree with the opinion that Medieval 2 Total War was the last good Total War? No, I don't, Adnan. Shogun 2 was certainly a good Total War, and I'm of the opinion that the Warhammer games are good Total Wars as well. Go for the Temple Wards, I guess. Try and thread the needle. We definitely don't want to get any kills on our Pharazon's faithful, so if you don't... Yeah, that should be enough for you to get through there. The problem with the Game of Thrones thing was that they were told how it ended, so that is how George R.R. Martin intended to end it. I'm sure he would have done it in a better and more rounded way than that, but ultimately we know what his original intent was now, and it's not good. It's very poor in my opinion. It's very basic and heavy-handed. There we go. Bit of damage done to the Orc defenders. We should target them actually, because we can't really hit them based on where they are. Right, we do want to be a little bit careful here now. There we go. You? And they're in the middle now, so we can actually hit them with the catapult this time. As soon as the Medieval 2 Siege pathfinding does its thing. They switched to limited building slots and removed captain armies. You can pick apart the decisions that CA have made quite a lot, I think. Because I do think, especially of late, there have been more puzzling ones than good choices. I think the problem I have is the only... anything that involves giving the player less options, it's hard for me to justify that as a good decision. Like, if you want to just send a bunch of like lower end units out on their own without a general, there are obvious downsides to doing that anyway. You don't need to force the player to not do that because it's not a good idea. So I think that, you know, it's one of those things that they really shouldn't have done, but we'll do a Numenorian Warcry. The Troy Total War looks really pretty. Yes. I mean, I think it looks okay. I wouldn't say it looks amazing, but
only half the enemy force remains.
I suppose that's true, Xavier, but like, I don't know. It feels very... I don't know how he could have explained that to actually make sense, other than the fact, like, yeah, I just don't think I'd be a big fan of that in general. It was just very shoddily done. very shoddily done. And to be honest, the popularity of the IP is pretty much gone now. Right, okay, let's not lead the way with you. Let's instead lead the way with the halberds and the pikes. Get in here with a depleted unit of Ar-Adunaim, and then you can come forwards. The hero system is... I think it works nicely in Warhammer, to be honest, but that's because Warhammer started its life as a tabletop game. And the rule set sort of adapted to Total War. It's actually a pretty good mesh. What are these lights here? Has he got a disco going on back here or something? Bizarre. Anyway. Let's get the Ar-Adunaim around the flank. Stop firing. What else can we bring in here that's actually useful? Actually, probably a unit of crossbows. Okay, now we can't, because now they're actually moving forward. Alright. Go there. And... yeah, we'll just go for another unit of these. Well, the two gentlemen who did Game of Thrones are not gonna find it very difficult to find work anywhere now, so their reputation well and truly in tatters.
If we continue like this, we will smash the enemy.
I would, yeah, like a realistic Total War, like a historical Total War, it does need systems like this. I mean, some people weren't a big fan of Shogun 2 with how quick the battles were, but ultimately there was still systems and it was grounded in a way that made a lot of sense. You can't say that about Troy or Three Kingdoms. Like, they had records mode for Three Kingdoms, but it was very slapped on, and, you know, romance mode was objectively the superior way to play that game because that's how it was designed. Right, the temple wards should start going down here. Right, hopefully Gimmelcard isn't all up in Balaknar's business. He's got a lot of hit points anyway, Gimmelcard, so surround him with more AP. And that'll do. A drawn out battle that, but victory will be ours nonetheless. And we'll actually get to see if Mordor do get Doom stacks, which, to be honest, I think they need. Because otherwise this could prove to be a rather weird meandering to the end. 3 of the Nazgul have been killed by me at this point. They will respawn at some point, of course, but by that time we could be already marching on Barad-dûr. That would be pretty cool if we had like 3 or 4 Nazgul in Barad-dûr when we laid siege to it at the end.
This is a clear victory.
There we go. Only 200 losses. Yeah, it would have been more with that balance of power, considering the amount of stars that Mr. Balaknar had. And we will just exterminate the populace, as much as leaving some of the economy of Minas Morgul intact would be okay. We don't really need it at this point. We've got so much wealth backing us up at this stage. And
we have triumphed.
We will rename Minas Morgul, of course we will.
My lord, our
Exterminate the populace.
conquered.
We don't actually need to repair anything either. Right then. before you take down the Black Gate in Cirith Ungol, well, when you take down the Black Gate in Cirith Ungol, yeah, I mean, to be fair, it's pretty much game over now. I'm going to be a little bit reckless with my 3 main generals because, of course, I said that if all 3 of them died, that would be classed as a campaign failure. So that does give a little bit of jeopardy at the very least. And we have the money to build an armory, which we shall most certainly do. And, right, Eastern Arminoleth actually doesn't need anything to keep it happy, but we do need something to keep it secure at the very least. So we'll take, I guess, these 4. How is it unhappy now? How dare you? The cheek. You're not happy if I make you leave this half of the city, however, so I guess we'll just go with all of the Rosadan units and see if that's enough to make it less happy. Public order. It's military build policy, that's why. Bloody military build policy, the bane of my existence. Okay, that will make them happy. And I think that's what we shall do for now, because we can't actually move Gimmelthon any further. So let's just see what Enedwaith and Mordor do. You can destroy some buildings in Minas Morgul. Yes, that's a good point actually. The Orc fighters, pits and the like are worthless to us, aren't they? A little bit of extra cash. I keep forgetting to do that. But then again, we've only been fighting Mordor for the most recent portion of the campaign. It is a bit gamey, but I do like how in Medieval 2 you can take a town and then effectively... Ooh, close defeat. They actually defeated, but I only have 1 black ship in that navy. But I do like how you can effectively rip a city out and then just leave it to rebel, and that's a way that you can like gain money. Gain a lot of money depending on the size of the city that you take. I'm a little bit concerned that Harad may declare war on us, but that would be something else which adds a bit of spice into the last bit of this campaign. West Osgiliath rebuilt, my lord, excellent news. Through toil and expert craftsmanship, the royal wall at West Osgiliath has been rebuilt. I am told that our labourers now begin work on the vast palaces and public buildings of the western side. Soon the city will shine anew as a guardian star of all, well, Numenor, rather than Gondor. Nazgul returned to Mordor because we killed it. Return of the race. The Nazgul have been defeated, their tower emptied of servants of the Dark Tower, but not for long should its old masters have their way. Rallying what forces they could after the rout and gathering several more legions from the Dark Tower, they now prepare to march on their lair. Those who have taken it shall pay the price for their defiance and will learn why the might of Sauron and his servants is not to be trifled with. So they do get a doomstack. Minas Morgul has been liberated. Minas Morgul has fallen, the mighty bastion of evil, a symbol to all the world. The power of Sauron and the Witch King is nothing more than a dead and lifeless ruin. The battle was fierce, questionable, but the sheer number of orcs wasn't enough, again, questionable, and they were undone. Now the forces of evil must hold fast at the Dark Tower of Cirith Ungol. There's rioting in Anulond because, again, I've got a massive garrison over there, but they just do not like me at all. It's already rebelled once, and I wonder why that is, actually. What is this? Right, we're going to kill you off because this navy is far too powerful for you. You can go over there. You, actually, I couldn't care less about you, so we're just going to disband you. We've got a ton of cash. We can actually begin building units here, which I believe I will do. We'll go for some Rosadans. Shit! That wasn't what I meant to do at all. I meant to close the scroll, not end the turn. That's frustrating. Can't afford to be doing that. Not when there is great ground to be made up on Mordor. We can also take Osterthiel with Mr. Gimmelthon. Right. So we did take this place, I believe. And yeah. This is the same turn, I think. Is it not? Well, we'll soon find out. Yes, it is. Good.
A fine day to sail.
That was nearly horrendously embarrassing.
Yes, my lord.
Right, we can
My lord.
go ahead and attack you,
Taking the troops ashore. We shall engage.
and we shall begin the siege.
Glorious victory.
Your orders, my lord.
This is a more ranged-focused army as well. We've got several units of Abrazani Nardubawib as well as some crossbows and javelins. More of a supporting army. And we still don't have the culture yet to start building some good units out of Minas Tirith, which is a bit of a shame. Right, what have we got going on in Moranon?
Yes.
The last alliance and the Black Gate reached. You have reached the Black Gate, the heavily guarded entrance to Mordor. It was originally a gate built by Sauron, the Dark Lord of Mordor, to prevent invasion at the gap between the Ar-Adunaim and the Ar-Adunaim. It was probably built with the power of the One Ring, like the Tower of Barad-dûr. Again, though, there's not masses of stuff here. Okay.
As you wish.
I think Anulond is in military. No, because it can't be a military building because I have
Tomorrow's journey plan.
a general in here. It's got a very high tax rate, which that's why. Again, that's automatic. Why would it assume I want the maximum tax? Ridiculous. Right, so we're already building stuff there. We can't build. Oh yes, we can actually recruit stuff here, which we do want to do immediately because, goddamn, they just keep coming through this gap.
I respect you, my enemy.
In fact, that's actually to the point where we probably want to send reinforcements up there right now.
Your will, my lord. My lord.
Probably all of that bunch.
We'll make camp here. Let us settle matters on the
I
field.
suppose the saving grace is the fact that this fortress is really, really nice to defend. Right, can we combine anything?
Orders.
Not really. Not units that we want to combine anyway. Okay. Now then, ooh.
I'm gonna stick you.
It's only a captain stack though. And I'm pretty confident that we can hold on to all of these bits and pieces.
Yes, my lord.
Especially when we have a general in Minas Tirith. Bizarre. Right, well actually what I will do, I think I will probably keep... Can we build a spy here? No, we can't. We build a spy here. Yes, we can, which we shall do. Because I want to keep an eye on the Black Gate while keeping this diplomat moving. They can stay. The Royal Knights can... Can we combine the halberds? Well, no, actually, we'll put the Royal Knights in here. Because I like the idea of having to being able to sally out in Osgiliath.
Ready.
And you need to go back down here.
The fleet cannot sail there. And the grapples.
Well, now you can. Enedwaith going up the Anduin.
Victory is ours.
Absolute madness.
Sail.
Now then, we shall start building more units. We can actually finally build some Baruthiel's Watch, so it would be remiss of me not to actually do that immediately. And... yeah. Well, actually, go some Gondor infantry instead. Methrist, we can build... oh, finally some Ar-Pharazôn's Faithful and Ar-Adunaim Armsmen here. Finally we have culture to spare. And I think this is probably going to be sufficient. Yeah, we're going to get a lot more units here, which is nice.
Ships ready.
And we'll send across this unit over here as well so that we can pick up some stuff to send over here, because Enedwaith are continuing to be a pain in the neck. Other than that, can send out a couple of these boys to take this fort to give us some extra visibility. Yeah, but other than that, I think it's just a waiting game to see what Mordor do, because I can't really move on without leaving some gaps in my defence for these captain stacks to start being annoying. So I will remain and see what transpires. Rohan are resurgent, which is nice. Rohan were pretty much forced back to where Isengard started, and Mordor held pretty much all of their old lands except for Foldberg and Hornburg. So where's this Mordor doom stack then? Give me your worst. I say tempting fate. But in a city like Minas Morgul, you would really expect 2 catapults to be far, far too much for whatever they have to offer.
We must make a stand.
Well, the reinforcement army is leaving. I really need Bree to start doing some business against enedwaith. Again, I feel fairly confident in Calanhad being able to hold against a captain stack.
We stand vigilant.
There are Olag High in there. If you take Tharagondos with a decent army, there's no way that enedwaith will take it again. Yeah, that's what I do want to do. Ah, there is a Nazgul. It's not a doom stack though. It would be peak Mordor in this campaign if they just sent the doom stack to the north. Thorin's Halls is assaulted again. Right, you can move. Are you actually? It's hard to tell from this angle whether he's actually in the. Right, hold on. Okay, so he is actually. So we do have some reinforcements now, and that will, I think, be enough. I don't think there's anything that they'll be able to do to prevent that from occurring. You can head over to here. Yes it is. We could probably do with some siege as well, so we'll go for a ballista. And we'll also go for a couple of units of Narduzagar for assaulting those walls. Other than that, ooh, another unit of Baruthiel's Watch. Yeah, we're making so much money at this point that we may as well just splash the cash on units where we can. We'll have a whole nother army, albeit a captain stack, that we can send out and do with as we please. You and go some Marines as well, why not? Right. This may well be an auto-resolve actually, considering the yeah, I would think so. Is this the Witch King? No, it's Gan Altan. He's one we've killed before, so yeah, the respawning Nazgul, it's fairly quick, clearly. Fairly quick. I'm okay with that, though. Right, construction report. We have got Tarnost, Brethel, Fanyalond, and Ardamir. Any economy buildings that we can build for you? Yes, but one that will drastically reduce public order. Not sure that we want that, Chief. We'll go for a tavern. Tarnost. We can... Nah, nothing there that I really want. So, yeah. Waiting for some sort of Harad betrayal, but it doesn't seem to be forthcoming, so can't say that I'm too sad about that. Right. What we want, actually, I do think we will build some stuff here just so that we can use it as a garrisoning force for Can Baruthiel that we have there. Because I do want to be able to garrison it quickly, and I want to move Gimmelzor north to the Black Gate. We can move you up that way. Ah, is this the Doom stack? No, that's a Captain stack. Another Captain stack that has Variag Lancers in it. I always felt the Ar-Adunaim buildings could do with a rework. Maybe give them more of a Numenorian style. I mean, it's... yeah, I guess. I mean, for some of them, though, like, I quite like the idea of the Dark Shrine, because it is kind of what they are now. Anyway, let's see what the situation is with this. Gimmelthon should be okay for this one. Yeah, that's an auto-resolve. 47 losses. Exterminate the populace. Mission success. I've been rewarded with a unit of catapult at my capital, which is way down here and useless to me really, but I'll keep it because maybe we can utilise it if Harad decide to betray us. So we have a captain stack coming down here. We apparently have a doom stack. So I mean, Mordor are waking up. They are. The slumbering giant awakens. Calanhad, I think, is a really defensible settlement, though, so I think we'll be okay here. How can we recruit Ar-Adunaim armsmen here? I question it, but not so much that I won't recruit them. Yeah, this is a little... Right, let's kill them.
Glory, honor, victory.
Kill them.
Yes, my lord.
Shall engage.
I think with a ranged focus army, depending on what they have... Oh yeah, we can do better on the field.
Muster your courage, men. We march into battle.
No enemy ranged units. It might be because of a guild. Yeah, it must be, I suppose. Those sorts of abilities usually are only for high tier guilds, though, which gives you an armsman unit every 15 turns. I mean, I'll take it. Gondor must have built that earlier on in the campaign for like whatever unit they have. Ah, they are by the coast as well. What a sight. Okay, let's get all of our ranged units. Sans the... Apparently we can hide in these trees. And... Yep. Anything other than the javelins, we'll put them onto fire at will. You can just sort of stay back because I don't know if you'll be all that useful. Everything else will just be in one big group. They will probably try to retreat. Right, can we get good hits? We should be able to get really good hits. Black Uruk halberds are a good target for our boys to shoot as well. Yes, this is what we want to be seeing. You can shoot at the Black Uruks, I suppose. You can shoot at that unit. The rest of you can just shoot at what you please. Maybe the Javelin boys will be somewhat useful if we put them over here. This is not going too well for them at the moment. Black Uruk halberds getting rinsed. Nice to actually have the Ar-Adunaim Nardubawib in our army. Looking very, very nice. That's something else actually that Numenorian-wise the Ar-Adunaim are kind of lacking. They don't really have like a super good archer, because the Nardubawib are good for sort of being bulky and heavy plate clad and the like. More so than actually get them into position there. We'll get ready to roll forward with our spears, I suppose. What evil faction would you say is your favourite? Good question. I have always been enjoyed Rune. I don't know if I could say that they're my favourite though. I mean, Umbar / the Black Numenorians are always a solid pick as well, aren't they? Right. Rolling with them. Halberdier's getting absolutely roasted. Crossbows. Move over here. Azrael Marines can go after them. So can the archers, actually, now that I think of it. That should be sufficient to do some pretty horrendous morale damage.
They are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men.
Yeah, just shoot into those halberds, actually. You chase them. We don't have any cavalry in this army, being the ranged focused one, but what are we going to do about that? Got to mop up these little stacks and be careful of them, because the Black Uruks are not terrible. Like, our tier 2 units can definitely beat them, but they do actually outclass one-to-one stuff like our Rosadan, which we do still have quite a bit of. The developers hinted at a reunited kingdom mechanic. Yeah, I'll definitely give that a play when it comes out. There's a lot of stuff in version 5, I think, which is really exciting. Moria, in particular, actually caught my eye, because you'll finally actually be able to sort of unearth Balrogs and give their roster a little bit of interest. Which they sorely needed, to be honest with you, because their roster has remained largely the same since the original Third Age, in Divide and Conquer at any rate. And it's just quite an uninspiring thing. It's all well and good playing as a horde, but you need at least 1 or 2 units that you can think, man, that is really cool. And the Balrogs are most certainly that. Go after them. Don't think there's anything else we can actually chase. Well, there goes the enemy general. Even my basic spears are doing the business. You love to see it. That should be everything, shouldn't it? I mean, I guess they're broken and fighting to the death, but yeah, not many losses there. Better than we would have done in the auto-resolve, which is what I wanted. 17 losses only. It's a pretty cool design as well. Is that meant to be Harad or Khand, though? The red would suggest Harad, but I don't know, the overall styling would almost make me think of Khand. Execute. Enemy camp destroyed. Right, we need to get a few of these boys back into a garrison. That is all that is required, apparently, to make this place happy. Right, we will repair all of this stuff, and we shall construct an armory. Gimmelthon himself can start moving this way, because he will probably need to get into a fort somewhere and cover his father's advance into Mordor's territory. Other than that, I think we can only bide our time and wait until we have the units required to send over here, so we can start pushing on Theragondost and another army we are constructing back here. Speaking of which, you three need to start moving forward so you can be the ones to garrison Tirithoros. Okay. Always feel like I'm forgetting something when you get to this part of the campaign. You can always be... Yeah, see, that was what I was forgetting, the diplomat. I need to move on to Dorwinion to see if they're interested in being friends. Although they do have elven elements to them, don't they? And that would definitely be the sort of thing that the Ar-Adunaim would not want to be involved with at all. So they're blockading my port. Damn them. Anulond as well has been making dreadful amounts of money. It's been a bit of a black hole of a settlement, to be honest with you. And I've held it for a while. It did rebel once, but I've held it for a while. It was the first place I took, really, in this portion of Gondor, due to a naval invasion. The chieftain of the Dunedain is dead, so Angmar continue to do the business there. Cirith Ungol, 2,000 coins is, like, nice, but it's not really the Dead Marshes have been reached. We have a Mordor general. Oh, so no, we have got a captain stack on the way somewhere. I mean, he's more than welcome to try and take Cam Baruthiel if he truly thinks he can.
Your orders, my lord.
Right, this is a pretty big army, including Great Beasts and Olag High. And we have Grishnak, who is apparently a very experienced general. Right. What is with the AI wanting to just siege me down? It's the most frustrating thing, that. Right. Just one more turn and we will have all of this available to us as well. We should probably actually just load up on some halberds while we're here as well. And a couple more turns for that there. So we'll be fine with that. These units can wait because they're getting their upkeep for free. Let's just go through and build a bunch of economy buildings now. Potentially anything. Oh yeah, Numenorian Foundry, we want that because that's the advanced blacksmith for us. Cheers, Anthony. Great Beast Suck versus Pikes. Well, yeah, they're elephant class units. Military dockyard we could potentially build. Let's go for some public fountains. Can we... We can upgrade Eastern Osgiliath. So we shall do so. Right, a militia armory would be really useful on the front line, actually. Right, that has stalled in terms of construction. That's still going. Tirithoros. We shall go for a stronghold there, I suppose. Right. So if we leave with our full might, it is unhappy. What if we send some of our units back? They aren't very useful.
Yes, my lord.
They're happier about that. Well, how about I send just one of you back as well, just to be certain. And we'll keep moving up this way with you. And I think that will be fine. What are you going to do? I'm more than okay with Gimmelcad just sort of standing there for now. If they're just going to start sieging me down, 9 turns until I perish though, which is not the worst thing. We'll see what that army does. For this one, we could start moving forward, to be honest. Okay. I'm fine with that. God damn, we've got a lot of stuff built now. Conscription camps just aren't really worth the time at this stage. We'll just go for a bunch of culture buildings, I suppose. That can't hurt us in the least. We're not building anything for you, and you, the economy for this city should be much better than it actually is. That's probably why. Because the population is so low. Right. And... okay, fine. There's no need to micromanage stuff at this point, to be honest with you, because it's just a matter of waiting to see if enedwaith or Mordor are actually going to assault settlements or not. And they are. Here we go. No, they're not actually. They're attacking the reinforcing army. Okay, we'll withdraw from that one. He had to break the siege to do that, I think, though, so that'll reset the timer, which is all we're really looking for. Mordor probably aren't interested in lifting their siege either. I wonder how many armies in the North Mordor actually have at this point, because it does seem, just from looking at that they are getting pushed back at least by Rohan through the Gap of Rohan. Ah, hello. So, yes, we shall fight this on the map. Good. Hopefully we can deal with this. This is one of the most nasty settlements we have. The ballista towers in a settlement like this are so good.
Appear to be gaining the upper hand in this battle.
Right, so we will have reinforcements, but we have the quality necessary, I think, to hold on. We also have the defenders, which is something you don't get if you sally out, bemusingly enough. You stay there like so. Can you fit on that little spot of wall there? You can't. Okay, so you just go down here instead then. You down there. That's it as far as archers go. The halberdiers need to be on the front line. Armour piercing is not the most useful thing against enedwaith, but that's fine. The household guard can come down here and guarding the walls. If need be, we'll send the Ar-Adunaim up onto the walls because they're more capable of being able to get the job done on their own. And you can go over there like that. Other than that, it's just going to be a case of... right, what was I doing? You... God, these ballista... Like this, if we actually upgraded the settlement, the castle would be bigger, but the ballista towers wouldn't be in a place that would be like quite as devastating. Ironically enough. Siege towers doing the business. What is this? River elders. They're actually not bad. Come on. Sort yourselves out. You can go there. Rosedam footman. Actually, you can go back over here, I guess. If you're going to try and go right around the back, we might actually need some Rosedam footmen to intercept them.
The enemy have ladders at the walls. Repel the attackers. Give them steel.
Okay. Happily. There we go. One destroyed. It's actually better for us if these end up...
Cunning foe has reached our walls. Curses! The enemy are battering down our gates.
Oh, this is a unit of raiders, that's why. Okay. So yeah, you shoot at them, I suppose. You do the same. And you. Finish them off, if you please. Territorial guardsmen can be in reserve with our general. Where are you going? Ah, that's why you're going over here, because we actually have a unit that we left behind. It's a bit frustrating, actually, because we could have done with... There's less ballista towers here on the front side. Right, go on, kill this siege tower while most of them are on board it. That's moot keepers, I'm pretty sure, as well. Yeah, it is. Sort of their best unit of line infantry, pretty much. Come on, it needs like one more shot.
The enemy's ram is through our gates. The enemy's siege
There it goes. Marvellous.
Beware, lest they try some other trick.
I don't know if you could call a siege tower a trick, but... Whatever makes you happy, I suppose. I mean, River Swordsmen, it's more the Moot Keepers that are substantially better, really, than the South Ron Defenders. But this is fine. Victory seems certain for them. How dare you? And yeah, we've got just too many spears over here. Hey there, Metallic CJ, nice to have you around. Things are going reasonably at this juncture. They might try to muscle their way through. Are they in? No, they're not in guard mode. That's why they're forcing their way forwards. That's a bizarre thing that they love to do. They're going to get shot up anyway. Most of these units are easily replaceable, to be honest. We just need to get some more elites on the front line. As soon as that happens, Enedwaith's continued raids will be much less of a problem. River Elders are like among the best units that Enedwaith actually have to offer. It's quite a challenging campaign, Enedwaith, I think, depending upon how you interact with your neighbours. Okay, yeah, they're done for. Yeah, you go over here, actually, because you can shoot the war chances, which are not a bad... What are you doing? Oh, I see, you're getting pulled into a fight. The Moot Keepers are still fighting away. The Ar-Adunaim Berserker model is used for them in DAC. Even these guys, though, like, they're pretty much the best unit of line infantry Enedwaith can utilise, and they're still not all that heavily armoured, so my Nadu Tariq actually will take casualties facing them down. Yeah, that'll be good shots in from them. And we actually have these two as well, which we can swing in. The only members of our reinforcement column that can actually enter the field for the time being. Maybe that'll change when the Southron defenders are killed. They're wavering, good. They are doing their best to force their way through.
Pray something changes in the course of battle, for defeat seems almost certain.
They really are trying to force their way through, aren't they? They will not get very far. Especially considering as though these two are now done, so they can just wait in the town centre so that they can't try that foolishness again. Okay. Just get up there, because Azra Zaire archers are probably the sort of thing that I'm going to disband anyway. Fairly soon. Well, they're doing their best. Let's go out of guard mode. War chances are not the most sturdy units either. A cool concept for a unit, but I can't help but feel as though they're really difficult to actually make worthwhile. Okay, yeah, actually with you at this point we would get more value if you were to sit here and shoot into them. All hands to the grindstone here. Yeah, can you hurry? A bit more haste, if you please. Why stop? Another one of Medieval 2's intricacies and eccentricities that I will never understand. Hopefully the general doesn't die here. That would make governing the settlement a little bit more awkward than it needs to be. Okay. And they're on the way. Ah, with a unit of those Southrons dead, we can actually bring up some Royal Guard. Defending settlement with Ballista Towers is always a joy, until you have to attack it. Yeah, pretty much exactly that. even though they're low damage, those Azrazair archers are in a really good position to take advantage of the high ground, and against enedwaith you actually don't need that much damage anyway to be reasonably effective. And they really don't have much outside of their javelins that can crack through the armour of something like the Household Guard. And we do still have these units over here, which I should stop being stingy with. We'll leave one unit in the town centre, but the full unit of spears can make their way over here. Losing is not so much a concern, but enedwaith will probably have another stack on the way momentarily after this battle is concluded. And again, they can just throw themselves into melee, because as well as these guys are serving me here, they aren't really what I need long term in settlements such as this. Right, you can get down off the walls now as well. Time to get in there. Yeah, they're still taking good damage. We can pretty much, I think, wipe the war chanters out here with these 2 units of marines, and then we can utilise them to sort of stand behind the gates, which I think should be enough to secure a decent victory. What's that over there? Ar-Adunaim? Yeah, you can get over here. Yeah, you definitely need to start firing your javelins in there. I don't know why enedwaith hate me so much. They should be going after Bree and Dunland, and then they could establish themselves as like the power in the west, but instead they're throwing themselves against my forts and not having a great time doing so. Pretty much all gone. Defeat seems almost certain. I find that somewhat hard to believe. Okay. They sound almost like zombies, these chanting units, when they get going. Charge into the rear there. Marines are pretty decent in melee, at least as it pertains to damage, and that should be what we need against enedwaith. And the Royal Guard are on the way as well. Yeah, they should rout here. The fact that they've actually got a general in their army is helping them more. Most of their stacks have been captain stacks, which has really not been very helpful for them up until this point, but this time they were able to last for longer. And damage is not enedwaith's problem. Yeah, they're starting to run now. There's one war chanter remaining. And this should be all that is required. A lot of them are broken and fighting to the death because they can't get out. And you would think that would be that. Yeah, okay, we'll continue because there's more that can be done. Or is there more that can be done? There actually isn't much. What's going on out here? No, that's barely even worth it. Heroic victory. 400 losses. 450 near enough losses. Maybe Mordor will attack that settlement as well, and we'll have 2 siege defences on the same turn. That'd be quite fun. Aragorn and Éomer and Imrahil. No, we're definitely going to execute them. Surely this is going to cost them eventually. They're sending a lot of units down here, and I know enedwaith stacks are not really that much of a strain on the economy because they're not the best units. Ah, they are attacking immediately. So the amount of soldiers is relatively similar. The Olag High are really the only thing here to be concerned about. Outside of that, the defences of our settlement should be enough to give us the win here as well. Captain Gorbug. We have a general in here as well, which is good. This is why I kept him here. And these are ballista towers. In an ideal world, we'll be able to just destroy all the siege tower and the ladders, perhaps even the ram as well, but that would be quite greedy. Right, crossbowman, I want you shooting at the trolls, so you will not be on fire at will, nor will you. We do need some defenders up on this wall, however, to prevent... We'll try and be greedy and use only 1 unit to defend up here, because everything else we will need to deal with the trolls. They are there, so it's this unit probably that we want up here. You can just fire at will actually, and you can't fit in there, that's a shame, but you can go over here then and not fire at will. Yeah, definitely going to be the trolls here, which I worry a little bit more about, but we should have what it takes to bring them down. Especially if we can start shooting them with reasonable speed. We've got enough AP to worry them as well. There's units back here which we do not want wasted. And everything else, yes, these units over here. We've got plenty of infantry, so yeah, we should be okay. Nope, that's not what we want. Nope. Come on, there we go. Medieval 2 siege battles. The classic experience of which... Right, so the key thing here is going to be targeting down those Olag High wherever they may be. And where are they? Oh, there they are. Oh, they're carrying a ladder as well, that's awkward. Okay, well you shoot at them. We may have to turn things around a little bit, but... okay, we'll put the axemen over here because they're likely to be able to actually deal damage. The spears just won't. And everything else. Oh, this is one of those settlements as well, which is really kind of awkward to set your men up in the way that you want, but needs must. Right. It's obvious what the AI are going to do, so it's time to clump up on the front line again with halberds and all the units of infantry that we have. Oh yes, and before I forget, any halberds we can go after? Yes. Yeah, that tower is not even going to make it up the hill, I don't think. In fact, yeah, you can go over here. Even more so now that we know that they are coming here. I really like the experience of Rome 2 when it came to sieges. That's where I felt Shogun 2 kind of lacked. A lot of that was to do with the maps in Shogun 2, to be fair. In a lot of the overhauls that overhaul the settlement systems of Shogun 2, it's much better. Right, get up there quickly, please. Don't just stop mid-flow. You're going to need to go up there as well, aren't you? The axemen are just taking actual eons to get into the right position. And so are you. You can go there. And you can just be sort of a reinforcement column. Yeah, I'm not too worried about that now. Damage being done. Deal damage to them. Still got some halberdiers, which I think we will actually have just over here, just in case the trolls do manage to get through. Crossbows can turn around and shoot at them. Yeah, the ballista towers and our Rosadan going to be doing the business against the Black Uruks. There we go, good. Oh yeah, we have these as well, don't we? The Ar-Adunaim, which I will move there.
The enemy are battering down the gates.
Our cunning foe is
God, the Olakai are real nasty.
We must repel them.
Are you actually hitting any of them? Well, should be okay. There's a unit of Black Uruks that's getting slapped up by Nadu Tariq. This is a little bit unfortunate. I was hoping that this siege tower would have taken more damage by now. Alas, it has not.
The enemy's ram has breached the gates.
$82, yeah, they're going to be able to get to the top and start deploying on my Rosadan bowmen. Not all of them, though, I would imagine. I would hope. There goes the enemy general. Problem with captain stacks. One of the Olakai has actually fallen. These poor spearmen, though, have been absolutely beaten down by them. Interesting to see the old Olakai model back. Ah, did they actually make it to the top? Some of them did, but they routed as they did so. Exactly what we want to be seeing. And they're leading the way with archers, because of course they are. Right. Do we want to flank around with them? There's only 3 of the Olakai left. Okay. Yeah, we'll flank around with our Nadu Tariq. AP units are the best way to deal with trolls, aren't they? Yeah, that's certainly in Divide and Conquer, I would say. And as basic as my axemen are, I mean, I sent spears against them because the axemen were taking an age to get over there. And if trolls start running around, they are pretty quick, so I didn't want them getting away from me. Yeah, this was a horror show by Mordor. And we'll roll in with some more halberdiers. This has always been an interesting aspect of Medieval 2. The Black Uruk halberds leaving the front line as they get squeezed. They're going to find it difficult to get away. Okay. Is that the last of the trolls gone? It is now. Okay, you've earned your rest, you two. Especially the spears, man. They got destroyed. What are you doing? Oh, they're fighting to the death. Yeah, ballista towers make sieges. It's one of the reasons why the settlements in this part of the world are so desirable to have. Stop those Black Uruk archers from firing as well if we are able. I really like the fully upgraded Ar-Adunaim models.
The battle seems to be swinging in our favor.
Only just realised that?
Tidings does victory emerge.
Hey there, Val. We've taken Minas Morgul, but in terms of territory gain, that's pretty much the only thing so far. A couple of defensive battles other than that, of which this is one, in Calanhad. Doing Gondor's job the right way. Okay, yeah, and this is just going to be a fast forward from here.
We shall rule these lands.
Where are they going? Weird pathfinding, but okay. Don't know what they're firing at, but whatever it is, that's fine.
Seize the field. Our foe is
Yeah, there we go.
vanquished.
A Mordor captain stack dealt with. Very much the basics of Mordor. But it does go to show that when Mordor do actually have their high tier units, even if they just have one or two, they can do some damage with them. Those red capes would give them a really crisp look. Yeah, I like the way that it's like a mix of medieval and or early medieval and Roman aesthetics. I think it really, really works. Yeah, we're executing that.
Glory, honor, victory.
You want to siege me? That's Gimmelzor right there.
We must make a stand.
Ah,
We are besieged.
that's their doom stack, isn't it? And look at what they've done to it. I think that's their doom stack anyway. I'll have a look at what units they've got in there. If it's mostly regular stuff, then it's not, I would assume. But if they've got like all different sort of kinds of units in there, what I would assume they have done is taken their doom stack and made it an Erebor invasion army, which is ridiculous.
Ships ready.
Right, yeah, enough of that.
Engaging the enemy fleet.
Less of this, yeah?
We are victorious.
And then we shall embark with everything and start heading over here, but not before we kill you.
And engage the enemy.
And then we'll reinforce Anulond, and then we can start moving forward towards Tharagondost. This, we still can't construct anything of note here. We can here though, and I think a Great Hall is in order. That's a good point actually. We've got a lot of stuff. Can Gimmelzor has got a militia armory in it now. Sure, we'll build a farm. This is, yeah, Númenórean Foundry takes quite a while to build, so we don't need to worry too much about that. Look at this, look, Osgiliath on the battle map. Half of it has been rebuilt and we're getting to work on the other half. Another 15,000 orcs down, just another 2 million plus to go. 1,500. Yeah, we got this. Okay, now then.
Yes, my lord.
Ah, interesting. I kind of want to lead the way with you because you can just go with siege, which is what we want to be doing really, and then we can use Gimmelthon as like the backup army as we move forwards, press onwards into deeper areas of Mordor.
Your order.
Gimmelthon in there. Tarik, Gimmelcard. Actually, this region I think is fairly large, so the roads actually are not the biggest waste of money. But we want a dark sanctuary so we can start
Yes, my
start doing the business there. Can we build units here yet that are worth a damn? Not really. Soon though, I'm sure. We really need to start building that dark shrine as well, I think. Right, you...
Your orders, my lord.
There it is.
Yes,
That is a town that we shall besiege.
we shall prevail. Yes,
That's all we need to do there. All of this stuff needs to embark promptly so that we have yet another army on the way forward. You have come to the wrong seas.
we are victorious.
And I think there's, yeah, so one more turn for them. How much space do we actually have? A decent amount of space. This is mostly reinforcement stuff anyway. So, oh, look at that, look. Our Pharazon's Faithful with upgrades. That's filth. The enemy are going to be sorry they came enemy are going to be sorry they're going to war with me, so we'll just have a couple more units of Axemen. That will also reinforce, and that's pretty much that for this. So yeah, it's going to be... Could probably do with some reinforcements at Calanhad at this point. So you're taking up free upkeep slots, so if I move you... Okay, so they don't get free upkeep. No wait, what am I doing? That's wrong. I'm an idiot. Do you get free upkeep now? You don't. Okay, so yeah, we want you in there. And you three can go over to Calanhad. And we don't have enough room for all of you. Typical that. Okay. Then you, and you. And you can get ready to go to that fort over there. Why don't you recruit merchant in Minas Tirith? Ever considered a Dale campaign? I did, Adnan. Dale might be next, but it's looking more like it's going to be Erebor because of the Dwarven Edge. I've already got 2 merchants. How do I pronounce that? Badania? I've got 1 up in Bree, 1's on the way over here, but to be honest, the campaign is probably going to be over. Are we actually making money off that, or did you get pushed off of it?
Opening a new trade lane, my liege.
Yeah, there we are. Also, to be honest, we don't really need money anymore. We're gaining so much money from the territory we have.
Your order.
You.
What is it you wish to discuss?
I'm relations very poor. How about an alliance? And I will give you map information.
No, we cannot have another word. An honour and a pleasure.
They want to accept it, but they can't because I'm very untrustworthy. Again, for reasons I'm not entirely sure of, but oh well. I suppose we'll just have to deal with that. A tavern? Hobbit farmsteads are the best. Yeah, they are, Adnan. I do like to diversify a little bit if I can, but there's really no point when you have that level of profit. So yeah, this is a battle we actually do need to fight because look at all of that. This is actually a decent battle. So let's save it. Cirith Ungol. Maybe I'll send Gimmelthon north. No, I can't do that really, can I? Last time we took this as Lothlorien, and I think we were the first ones to do so. A Doomstack didn't spawn. Extra money is always useful. It's true, but if I build a merchant at this point, I don't think he would actually get over there before the campaign ends. Based on how much resistance Mordor have put up so far. That would be my guess. Right. We have everything we need to take advantage of the situation as it stands. We want to be a little bit careful with this army though, because we don't want great beasts trampling Gimmelcard, not when we've come this far. They go there. What do we still have back there? Oh yeah, of course, the catapults. We have had a guy up in the Hobbit farmsteads for quite a while at this point, the merchant that we got from Umbar.
The enemy are bringing in reinforcements.
Ah yes, reinforcements. Over on the other side though, so if we hurry up we could actually make really good... all the garrison force as well, aside from the great beasts, are actually melee units as well, so we really stand to gain quite a lot from this. And yeah, if you're playing every round playing an orc faction, Gundabad is probably the most interesting. I like the custom lore they came up with for Gundabad, and the roster looks pretty interesting as well. Like snow orcs, pale orcs. Heard Dwarven Siege is better. I mean, the reason Dwarven Siege is better in DAC is because they get custom ammunition, which is ludicrously powerful. Ooh, hello. hold. And potentially we will need to... Okay, so yeah, Ar-Adunaim. I don't want my Ar-Adunaim getting rolled over by trolls, but we may not have a choice. Don't fire at will. Right. What are they doing, I wonder? Can we actually shoot them from back here with our crossbows? We can. Right, whoa, 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 whoa. No, 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 no. That's not where I wanted you to go, really. Yeah, this is typical, this. Medieval 2 Siege is so slow and clunky, which is fine, but it's so awkward when you get your units into a position you don't want them to be in. And you as well. Last thing I want is you getting friendly fired. This, I think, is fairly undoubtedly the best unit in the Ar-Adunaim roster because of how strong pikes are and how good they are as pikes. Is it only Olak High back here? No, I didn't think so. So they're on the way. This is their actual general. But it looks like mostly Black Uruks and more basic stuff. Oh, you're doing an absolutely shocking job of actually shooting at them. Right, bring the archers forward, they'll probably do a better job. Is this Curitan Gol? It is, Uriel. Erebor don't get any archers or cav aside from the lowest tier Dale stuff, so I suppose OP catapult is fair. Yeah, they've got really good axe throwers as well, don't they? In terms of their roster, or at the very least they get like a few axe thrower units which are useful to utilise.
We are the elite.
Oh, that guy scare me. How are you missing them? Look how chunky they are. And you are... Man, these crossbows really are lower tier, aren't they? Shoddy performance by them. Right. The best way to handle this might be to let them go in there and then form up a defensive line, perhaps. Try to use a catapult on the trolls. More than likely they'll miss though, and I need my catapult for later when I'm dealing with the stuff inside. I just don't trust the catapult's RNG to be good enough. Right, let's... Right, you halt. And you do the same. You move forwards. We do have some pole arms. These are a little bit depleted after our escapades in Minas Morgul. Okay, where are they going though? They're just sort of hanging out. This is the worst place for an engagement for us because they have got the superior terrain and we can't use our catapults. Your infantry are pulled up on top of the crossbows, plus the angle isn't very favourable. No, I know the angle isn't very favourable, but like you would think that at least some of those bolts would be finding their mark, but like none of them were. It's just one of those cases of RNG not being favourable as well, I think. Right, we do want to be careful with Gimmelcard. We do want him close to the front line because he's such a beefy unit of Naru Royal Guard now with weapons and armour upgrades and 2 gold chevrons. Crossbows do have their uses, Adnan. They've been useful in this campaign in parts. Yeah, they're all going that way, which I'm content to let them do, actually. What else have they actually got back here? Are we going to see it? At this point it's all like Black Uruks that they're building. Ballista on the Great Beasts and let them run amok. That's what we did last time we were on this settlement. When we took it as Lothlorien, there were Great Beasts that time as well. Right, okay. I think the time has come to move in with them. Back them up with you. See what we can do about getting some archers in here as well. Yeah, we want the ballista in here first, I think. Whether we actually have the room to do so, it's a bit more debatable. Still got these Narduzagar as well, which will be useful if we end up having to go into melee with the trolls, because they've got the higher base damage combined with the maces. I mean, if we end up getting into melee with the trolls, then we'll just have to face tank the damage. YouTube works in mysterious ways, Adnan. Their marching sound has... The lighting here is garbage. That's true on any of these maps that have got like the Mordor aesthetic with the red sky, because the lightning light effects are all weird. We should probably get at least one of the catapults in here as well, I suppose. It would be remiss not to. Actually, if we can get one of our units of crossbows, or perhaps two of the units of crossbows in here, we can shoot from this side and then they won't be... no, they're moving anyway. Okay, well, in that case, you just slowly move. You need to pick up the pace a little bit. No, there we go.
Our soldiers have proved their worth today. The enemy's walls belong to us now.
No, they're just going straight back again. Interesting. Yeah, I'm fine with just letting them go at this point. I'd need to get out of position for them to... Crossbows, Royal Guard. Get a Gimel card in here. And then the Narduzagar. Are they going to retreat or are they going to charge in, would be my question. That makes a pretty big difference as to how I choose to approach this. No, we don't want the Rosadan footmen there. We want them at the back because they're going to be trash against Olag High. Yeah, let's just be... Got to be a little bit careful here because they could try and go for... Right, what have we got back there other than that? So yeah, more crossbows, which we could do with moving forward actually. Royal Knights, the other catapult we'll leave in reserve just in case they get a little bit leery with it. Fighting Mordor is painful not only because they have a lot of units, but because the battle maps are an actual headache. Yeah, that's true of a lot of the custom settlements though. They're like, ooh, hello, we've got some Black Uruk halberds who are fighting. Okay, well, yeah, you just go like this. As soon as we move into a certain shape, they won't have the ability to resist us anymore. Get our halberds onto the front line in case of a counter-attack. Right, the faithful, you can go this side so that you can quickly reinforce, potentially.
The battle is very much in our favor.
You there,
Victory will be ours.
and you there. Yeah, and you are going to stay here. Yeah, Brazanim can go at the back here. Just trying to clear enough space so that our skirmishers can actually do some business as well. It's like playing Tetris, but with your army. And I guess we'll move them a little bit closer as well. The cavalry is going to be really just not useful at all in this setting, but it will be potentially if we have to fight Mordor out in the open plains in Gorgoroth or something like that. So I can't complain too much. Right. Right, and the great beasts, we can shoot at them. Right, there should be a ton of bolts that hit directly. But again, they're kind of... there's just not enough room in here, that's the frustrating thing. We should score enough hits. Some of them are bloodied. Ever wonder what great beasts actually eat? I assume they just eat orcs, to be honest. That seems to be how they just do things in Mordor. They just eat one another, don't they? Yeah, shoot back there. Ooh, Morgul chosen. Are they running amok? They are. That's a little bit of a concern. Okay. Could probably do with killing them before they reach my lines, to be honest with you. God, that's a lot of damage. Or we could try and use these. I don't want to lose our Pharazon's faithful if at all possible, but... Right, the Olakai are coming out of hiding now. Ah, they're just stood there, are they? Right, no, get out of the way. Okay, shoot at them. Just point blank. Artillery is a man's best friend. Yeah, we've got a much better angle on them now. Right, we're actually hitting our own men there, so cease your activities.
Show us their heads.
Oh no, they're moving again. No. They do substantial damage if they just sit there.
Is very much in our favor.
We should have at least taken a toll on them. Yeah, I guess you just set up there. Oh, there goes the enemy general. Apparently squashing many of my troops as well. God, Jesus. Please don't kill Gimmelcard this way. That would actually be infuriating. Right, shoot at them, please. Kill those bloody things. They've got the elephant glitch where they're not fighting back, at least. Shoot them. Okay, good. He killed them. Make more sense if they had Nirn, a massive plantation. Yeah, I think that is like... Nirn is like a really interesting region to me just because it isn't like the wasteland of like the northern section of Mordor. And you'd have to assume that that's where most of the basis for their armies actually comes from. Right, we're tearing them apart here. Try and shoot back there, I guess. Not many of these left. They are going up against like my strong units at this point, so even the Olag High are not going to be enough. Ar-Adunaim armsmen should be enough to bring this chunky boy down. there we go. A lot of this back here is Orc defenders as well, which is where most of their numbers were actually coming from. Right then. Let's reform you, who took next to no damage actually, which is very nice. Form up a slightly nicer looking line. You took a bit of damage. Some of the Nadu Tariq did as well, but right, you. And you need to leave, and you need to arrive.
Show us their heads.
Nirn remains misery, if I'm not mistaken. It's just an interesting idea that you see what the orcs tend to do to like their lands and such, but like they obviously need some sort of basis, and that is Nirn. I think a lot of the reforged units in the past sort of branded like the Nirniag units as Candish instead of Mordor. Okay, and that's them out of ammo as well. So this at least means we can get some of our siege out of the area. Yeah, this is looking good, pretty good at this point. Okay, just get everyone into position, and this can go here. Right, and you, what is the juiciest target to try and go after? Well, the black halberds, I guess. Sure. Mix of all cultures. Orcs taste more than just Easterlings from Calanhad and Rune. Yeah. Grazing hit. Actually hit the Uruk bodyguard there. Them spreading out means that they could intermingle with other units, which would actually be better. It would give us more of an opportunity to utilise our area of effect damage. Range is not something we've had at our disposal to a huge amount in this campaign, actually. Not to the extent that we had it with Lothlorien, of course. Right, we'll leave through that way. Right, I wonder if we can spread you out and get you back. Where are you going? Do you have a good shot? Not really. Oh well. The attempt was made, but was unsuccessful. Try and snipe out the general with our last. Our artillery, where is he? This is him back here, is it not? I think this guy. Looks like he's got a custom model, so I guess he is actually a unique general. Grishnak. Was he the orc that was like, what about their legs? They don't need those. Because thinking about it, his portrait did look kind of familiar. I don't think he had any sort of position of command, but then what are you supposed to do, right? It should be that dude who... it should be Fresh Blood Man, seeing as we're fighting in Cirith Ungol. Right, we didn't manage to snipe him out, sadly. Right, get them out of there. You as well, you can leave. As soon as this ammunition has been expended.
The enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men.
And that is what you have just done, so you may leave. Are they charging forwards? Interesting. I mean, they immediately routed. I don't really know what they were expecting from that, but... they're probably going to rout as well, aren't they? Yeah, I mean, they're shaken. They're going up against Ar-Adunaim armsmen. They've got the old Jack Skellington shields.
We will smash the enemy.
Yeah, they're still fighting onwards. Brave as far as orcs go. Hey there, llama boy. Okay. Let's roll forward with the lads. And what else do we have? We've got some Rosadans that we can commit forward, some more Nadu Tariq, them, and of course them. Yep, they routed, to the surprise of absolutely no one. Yes, the Narduzagar, that's something else we absolutely want to go forwards. Still got some Black Uruks there, which we can put to the sword. What else do we have over here? Yes, that was it. Rosadans. And there. Ah, yes, you. Azraziah crossbows, you can move forward into this position now, actually. Good, good, good. I wonder if the Ar-Adunaim armsmen get an armour upgrade, because we haven't actually seen that yet, I don't think. We've just seen the regular version that Gimmelzor has, and this is very much the same sort of fare. Halberds. Actually, yeah, you can just roll in like so. Spears. Ar-Adunaim. Tip of the spear. Right, we'll go after Mr. Grishnak with our crossbows. Yeah, actually, yeah, we will. There we go. Bit of chaos. Yeah, there we are. These Ar-Adunaim are also upgraded. Interestingly enough, they're sort of very much focused on their armour, even when they're at their sort of base level. Like, as a shock infantry unit, they're probably not quite as good, perhaps, as you might think. But I mean, they're still good, but they're not like maybe as elite as they first appear based on their look there with their upgraded armour. Shock infantry is something that other factions do a little bit better than the Ar-Adunaim. Yeah, there we go. Nice bit of extra support coming through there. Gimmelcard himself can move forward with them. See if we can't get around with our Nadu Tariq. And with our halberds. Gimel Card can move in to face down the Minas Morgul Chosen. They're a little bit more up to the task of giving him a challenge. Enemy General fallen. Captain Yaglin. That was the guy riding the Great Beast. Where's Grishnak? Finding him amongst the orcs is always difficult, even though he's got a custom model, because they all blend in together so effectively. Well, no matter. Right, so we can get in behind them, which is good.
The enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men. Our men have taken control of the castle. Our men no longer command the castle.
Don't really want to commit these guys to melee if I can avoid that, but right, we'll crush them underfoot as well. Orc defenders are not what they needed here to be victorious.
Our men are in command of the castle.
Nice bit of experience for our units as well. Silver chevron on that catapult now. Although for a catapult crew that's probably completely useless. There goes Grishnak.
Without him, his troops will lose their will to fight.
You'd hope so.
The enemy
There we go.
awed by the victory we have.
So the road to Barad-dûr technically lies open now. It will be interesting if a Doomstack does spawn, actually, because that would have been a sign that someone did actually take Cirith Ungol before we did in the Lorien campaign, but I don't think anyone did. Unless I'm very much mistaken, I think a Mordor Doomstack only spawns in Cirith Ungol as Gondor to sort of prevent you from trying to rush them down quickly and making them more difficult. 87 gold. Right, I do actually have a name for Cirith Ungol as well.
An honourable, glorious victory.
Exterminate the populace, of course. 2,000 whole coins. Right, we need to repair the citadel itself. Get an armory on the go. Right. So this is going to be my name for... Make sure I spell it right. For Cirith Ungol. Arkas an Akalabi, which translates literally to Chasm of the Fallen, I think. Which is quite apt considering Cirith Ungol and how it looks and how it is. So that's going to be that. I'm still a little bit concerned about this. I mean, we'll be able to win that siege if they assault us quickly, but if not, we will need to shift some stuff around. Right, so he's already moving. They're waiting there for them to finish. Oh, Methras has got a building slot. Go for communal farming. Why not? We've got so much money to spend at this point. I'm just going to go around the houses and see if there's anything that we can build that's actually worth our time. Yeah, we've already built stuff there. Tarnost. Sure. Inzil and Undun. Or Ethring, as it was once known. Sure, culture buildings. Should probably build culture. I've built lots of like the level 1 culture buildings as I've passed through, but I have left gaps actually in places where I shouldn't have. Right, this place is already pretty much up to the maximum that it can be, but we'll build a dark shrine here because actually no, we'll build public baths because that is useful for the health benefits to the city. A grand bazaar, more cash, and Tal al-Jaf. A shipwright will bring in more money as well. Good, good, good. They're not particularly happy, but who cares about them? Right. So we do want to keep an eye on Morannon. This is, again, I think that is the Doomstack, you know. I think it is. And he's decided to join the crusade for
My lord.
Erebor with it, which is not a good decision on his part. Tal al-Jaf can actually be upgraded. Oh, I must have missed that. will Mordor attack Caer Andros immediately? If not, I'm actually quite tempted to sandwich that army between Gimel Zor and Gimel Thon. Attack with Gimel Thon, perhaps, because then I can use the movement of Gimel Zor to start heading him and his army up to... Okay, yeah, he's just going to try and siege me down. Start heading him up to the Black Gate, so that no one else can steal the glory of this Mordor kill away from us. Easterlings of Rune. I mean, I'm there, I guess. Isn't this Rune's last settlement, technically?
Without question, as you wish.
Keep going down this road.
As you wish.
That is... Yeah, this is Rune.
Something you wish to speak of?
Our relations with them are terrible. Trade? Okay. Got some trade. Some gold. And we'll start heading up here as well to try and get some good stuff with... Tal Al Jaff sounds like a really delicious type of Turkish delight. It does, rather, doesn't it? I used to not like Turkish delight when I was small, but I really do quite enjoy it now. It's one of those things, I guess, that you learn to appreciate. Right. What have we got going on here? It's not a terrible army, but it's not amazing either. Like, this is the thing with Mordor. Like, they just bury you in stacks of Black Uruks come the end of the game. Right, we are good here. We're about to build an armory, so we'll get garrison forces as well, so we can combine some of those units for that purpose. Right, what sort of units can we build here? None. Actually, that's a good point. Man, this is a... We're just building stuff in so many places at this point. This place, we can build a military dockyard if we wish. I guess we'll go for a dark shrine just to keep things ticking over nicely. Right. Yeah, I think what we will do is...
Your orders, my lord. My lord.
Just to be on the safe side. We will... I don't really want them coming out. Do I? I mean, I've got reinforcements on the way up here, so I guess it's not the end of the world. And I can shoot them. This army is the one that's a bit more micro-intensive. Yeah, let's do it. Gimel Zor can start heading northward then. Like gin and tonic or any grain alcohol. Hated it when I was younger, but now I've grown, my taste is more refined. There's a few things like that. One thing that everyone says is that's the case for is olives, but I still don't like olives. I just can't get on with them. Right, so we're actually attacking across this bridge, but our reinforcement army should be coming in from behind. So, we should be okay. I kind of forgot that this would be a bridge battle, to be honest with you. Right. So this is going to be ranged contingent. Yes, that's a good point. We got a lot of Ar-Adunaim in this army as well, which is pretty cool. But spears, spear boys, are going to be one detachment of the army, which we will put there. Halberds. I think we've only got one unit of halberds, haven't we? Yeah, we have. That's a little bit underwhelming. Olive oil, I do like. I like cooking with olive oil. It's one of those weird things where I just can't get on with olives. I don't know what it is about them. It's not because they are like... A lot of olives tend to be sort of sold in the jars in brine, because there's stuff in brine that I do like jalapenos, but I don't know what it is about them. I can't put my finger on it, and it does annoy me because olives seem like the sort of things that if you really like them, then like it's great. But right, let's see what we have going on here. So yeah, we do have that army coming in from behind, so this actually works out quite nicely, the fact that I've been willing to give the AI control, which normally I wouldn't dream of. They actually don't have range. Right, you're not going to have range ever. Right, be aggressive, would you? And Ar-Adunaim are actually on the front line, right, so you go there. See if we can't coax them into going onto the bridge a little bit. They still don't have range. I know their range is quite poor, but I'll take you don't put cheese on top of the pizza. You put it as a foundation with the cheese and very little of it. I think Italian food, just in general, gets done quite poorly by everyone else. It's one of those things that Italians are probably horrified about, because their cuisine is really very nice. Okay, let's just get in there. This army is only meant to be the supporting one to Gimel Zor and Gimel Cards anyway. So I don't mind so much if it takes more damage. We've got reinforcements on the way anyway. We've got more Baruthiel's Watch on the way as well, which should be quite fun. New York pizza is what I call heresy.
If we continue like this, we will
Yeah, they haven't done a very good job at setting their defences up here, have they? And now my reinforcements are on the way across. In fact, yeah, let's get things a-rocking and rolling. We're going to lose Gondor infantry because the AI is a hateful thing. These guys are not to be taken lightly either, but those are javelins. And they'll probably stay in melee for a little bit too long. I knew this was a risk when I took this battle, but we need to get these full stacks out of here. Right, let's push forwards. Oh yes, we have our Amrothian squires as well. Don't do this. What are you doing? Oh, for crying out loud. Imagine being the AI and thinking, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to charge into a phalanx. It actually ended up being fairly okay, but it shouldn't have been. Yeah. No need for subtlety at this point, I don't think. We can actually preserve the lives of our ranged units at this point. Right, come on. Hey there, Dylan. I see Mordor has a few Lokrim units. Yeah, I think that's because in Morannon you can recruit some Harad and Rune units, and Canned, because to represent that moment where they're like moving through the gate in the movies, which is a pretty cool idea. We've got Sauron's Will there. Baruthiel's Watch. Actually, you can just slowly pick away at them, I suppose. Don't know what happened to the Variag Lancers, but it looks as though they have been slain at some point, probably because they stayed in melee and anti-cavalry units are a thing. Ah, good. Nice to see the Amrothian squires actually getting their lances down and charging this time. Anyone else hate bridges in this game? It's because like the Medieval 2 pathfinding doesn't really respond too well to them. Right, you get over there. Move this way with you. Yeah, pulling through wasn't really the best idea for that unit there.
They have lost half their men.
You charge after them. We'll flank around with our Rosadans. Exactly the sort of thing we want to be seeing. If we pay real money, would you let a sub decide the next faction you playing? I mean, I would... That's the sort of thing that I'm not comfortable with. But I mean, to be fair, I did actually speak to Calvin about this, who is one of my 2 patrons. And he said that Erebor wouldn't be a bad idea because it means that I played a human, an elf and a dwarf faction. And then I would follow that up with an orc. Which I think would be okay. Yeah, they're all broken now. Most of them are broken. But also, if I opened it up to that, I can guarantee that the first faction that people would probably say would be the High Elves, knowing what people are like when it comes to the High Elves. And I've already done an Elven faction recently, and I don't want to go right back to that. What if I gave you 100k to play? That's a little bit different, because you're giving me literally the money that would wipe away all of my student debts in one fell swoop, plus a lot more of inflated currency. Well, that means that you're giving me enough to sort of go out and buy lunch, depending on what sort of currency you're talking about. They're broken and fighting to the death. Gondor infantry, they're sort of running into the distance. I would vote for Misty Mountains. Enedwaith melee only. Oof. I can think of few things more horrifying. You could buy Tic Tacs. What have we got going on here? I think after this they are completely gone. We didn't take that much damage, to be fair. A couple of Narduzagar that died, but to get Mordor off my back, it's a small price to pay.
This is a clear victory.
Easterlings. Would you consider Rune as an orc faction? No, Angel. They would be more akin to what we're playing at the moment, really, in the Ar-Adunaim. I think that the Ar-Adunaim have got slightly better elites, but overall the structure of the factions is actually remarkably similar, in the fact that your sort of solid line infantry unit is like an armor piercing one in the Flag Rim, and we've obviously got the Nardu Tariq. You start off with like a lower end like clans units, like, you know, they've got like the Darutai and we've got the Azra Zair.
Yes, my lord.
Right, we have got no movement. Tariq Gimmelcad is still happy, amazingly enough. Tower of the Moon. We're on military build policy as well, which is why I'm so surprised about that. So they should be wonderfully happy. Right, with that in mind, actually, what we will do, we shall meet up with these units, and then
Yes, my lord.
we shall wait for a turn. You go in there. Good, good, good. Don't think we can combine anything, but then we don't really need to. This army is not amazing, but it's solid. And solid, I think, is all we're going to really need to bring Morannon to heal. They have got some units in reserve there, but nothing to be overly concerned about. Okay. I like the idea of Erebor or Khazad-dûm. It's a shame there's no ring script for Khazad-dûm or Erebor. Well, yeah, I mean, I think the whole where they got the idea for the Ar-Adunaim script from was the lore, wasn't it? Because Sauron did actually go to King Dane with that very offer. But of course Dane said no, or not in so many words. I think he said, I need time to think about this, and then started building up his army to go to war with Sauron in the meantime. Yes, this is the army that we needed to disembark, wasn't it? Right, so they are reasonably happy. Can we retrain anything? Yes, we can. So we'll retrain you, and I suppose we shall retrain you as well, because you're so depleted. We We can recruit ballistas here now as well, but we don't really need it, seeing as this is a fully defensive army. This little force down here, we shall construct some more spears. And... only one more turn and we'll be ready to move on, so we'll go for another unit of Axeman. And then Mr. Cheerful here can start moving forward with a force to take Tharagondost. And aside from that, we are looking pretty good. Barad Khan. Go for a Barracks of True Sons, because that will stop the negative public order implications.
Yes.
Right, we shall
As you command.
construct more rams.
Yes.
This is as far south as Mordor goes, so we can get away with just sieging them down until they're horrendously weak, which is marvellous. Still nothing. Okay. And I think that's all we can really do at this stage, so... Elves are the best. Factually speaking, Dylan, you are correct. The High Elven roster is a truly terrifying thing in this game. The Ar-Adunaim have impressed me though as well. I've enjoyed playing as them. I've gotten used to the game again a little bit more, to be fair. After a long absence of playing Medieval 2 campaigns, I'm sort of back into the swing of things a little bit more now. It's all coming back to me. They really need to just cease with this activity. They're sending forward like one horrendously damaged like long ship basically at a time to try and besiege all of my ports. But yeah, I'm thinking if we can take the Black Gate, that is... Oh, for crying out loud. The game crashed. Okay. We shall relaunch the game momentarily, as soon as it allows me to. As I have stated before, 3 kinslayings wasn't enough. Right, hold on a second. Medieval 2 does this weird thing when it crashes in that way, where you have to actually go in and end the task forcibly. Right. Let's try that again, shall we? Late game end turns. A treacherous thing indeed. Right, and we need to redo the graphics. I have the graphics like mostly maximum, but I don't go on a few things. I do leave them a little bit further down because of the effect they can have, like shadows. But right, I also need to rather rapidly get the music down a little bit. They love each other so much they're willing to die for it. The definition of a drama queen. Right. Hopefully if we... Yeah, I think taking the Black Gate would be a good place to leave it, because then all of Mordor lies pretty much open to us, and the AI seems to have fallen in on itself somewhat. But, yeah, I mean, if Mordor ends up rolling over too much, then instead what we shall do is sort of clean up Mordor, and then we shall prepare a large naval invasion of Mithlond. Because I was expecting a bit more from Mordor. We have fought them, I suppose, but it hasn't really been too impressive from them. Mengelin. Bree would be a fairly interesting faction to play, I think, just because of their unique recruitment system. Maybe when it rolls around to play a human faction again, we can do Bree.
And Bree do get access to like some of the good Dunedain units and Elven units in a roundabout kind of way as well. They're coming back with yet another stack. The endless war with Enedwaith. What do Mordor want to do? Nothing, apparently. Nazgul returned to Mordor, so one of the Nazgul died. Mount Gundabad is besieged, so the orcs are in full retreat across the land. They want me to take Irch Estolad. I know that that's not how you say that first word. I've heard someone say it before, but I can't quite recall. Start heading up that way. Don't know if you'll actually make it in time before campaigns end, but I know that that's the one that's in here. I think it's the one settlement around here that isn't actually a unique one. We have Gazhur, who is actually a full army, so we'll probably wait for him to pass, because undoubtedly he'll go into the north. Did I end up getting a city or a general? Hey there, Brodor. You will, soon enough. I was going to... you can't rename generals, otherwise I was going to make it... because you and Calvin have been, by far, like, really, really generous with what you've given. So I was going to name you two as the generals that were going to sail up the Anduin and claim the crossings, but unfortunately it wouldn't let me rename generals. But a city we can do. And a city, I think, that I will leave to your choosing. Originally I was thinking Tharagondost, because that's going to be one of the edges of our kingdom. But ultimately I think, seeing as you're here, it can be very much your choice. Right, so how many units do we actually have in there? We have got a full line, sans 1. So...
How may I serve?
I guess... we'll go with these. And then we have 5 more, including the general. So you 3 can get in there, and then the general himself. This will give us our invasion force. We take a second to appreciate the map in this game. Yeah, they've added a lot of unique, like, little things, I think, which is very commendable. The Beacons of Gondor I particularly like, because the Beacons of Gondor really don't have much of a purpose, but they're here. Right, so this gentleman here is going to be marching on Tharagondos. We're still hemorrhaging money from Anilond, which I'm not entirely sure why, but he will move forward. So we do have the army that's over here, which is, again, decent by Enedwaith standards, but it's going to be terrible for taking the walls, because the Minhiriath warriors will get rinsed by the fortifications. What was it? We could make a little bit of extra money by just staying here, but there's really no point in doing that, because we've got so much cash that we may as well just move up here right now. I don't know where this army is going to go, but we'll just move out the way just to allow them to leave should they want. If they want to meet us on the field, I feel confident in winning that. We're upgrading Osgiliath. Calanhad has got a building slot that we can use, which a militia armory would be pretty nice. So would a conscription camp, actually. Actually, we can get Rohirrim units from here, can't we? So yes, we will. Get a bit of Rohirrim cavalry. The new alliance, even though officially they won't accept it because I'm horribly evil, apparently. But I feel as though Rohan, if we started beating back Mordor together, they would learn to live with me. They would see the light. Military dockyard. Get some of that going. Yes, this is what we wanted to do as well, wasn't it? So how much room do we actually have? Oh, enough room for all of it. Perfect. All of you embark, and you can start heading up the river. Can Gimmelzor, Thalond, yeah, we can build something else here as well. I mean, at this point, why not? We've got so much cash that we can just build frivolous things like roads in a region that's tiny. Yeah, crop rotation as well. Can Urud, we still cannot build anything. And actually, interestingly enough, we would be better served disbanding this unit because we won't be able to retrain them for a long time. And also that way we get both units of Southron defenders when they come back. Okay, that'll do for now.
Your orders, my lord.
And aside from that, it's really just a waiting game still. Osterthiel, Dark Sanctuary. Still don't have access to the Gondor infantry here, but that's a culture thing, I think. Right, let's see what Mordor do with that big stack, because that could be an interesting battle to fight as well. Oh yeah, I forgot the diplomat. Constantly forgetting things like that.
Splitting the troops.
It's a majestic realm we have now. The last meeting in this version of the world would still have Eomer, but it would include the Serpent Lord and Ar-Gimmelcard. You probably could just have merged those marines. Probably. But at this point, like, efficiency goes out the window, really. Look at what Harad are doing. They're just continuously building units out of Amrune. Another Nazgul has returned to Mordor, so they're getting wrecked in the north, I assume. Ah, hello. Have a taste of your blade. I'd rather not. What can we build here? Nothing. Precisely nothing. Ar-Adunaim Armsman, which actually you could make good use of. So I shall allow you to. Still don't really have, actually, as well, something else that you need is a siege equipment, don't you? So you can go in there. We won't get access to the benefits of having the armory, but that's not really the most important thing. What is the most important thing, however, is that we don't forget you. You need to go up here to the docks. And we have...
Yes, my lord.
Yes.
We want to try attacking you. Yeah, we do, don't we? We don't have enough movement. We don't have enough movement, but I imagine they'll probably try to retreat. They can try and attack me, but they would fail. Again, we've got more nonsense. Yeah, we don't want military build policy. We want, actually, may as well go for financial here. Nope, because they're unhappy about that. Right, recruitment. We just need more units now, so we'll go for some militia. And why not a catapult as well? From Umbar to the Sea of Nirn and the shores of Lindon. Yes, we're building stuff. Well, Brethil we're not. What can we build here that isn't the thing that destroys our public order? Karas Ast. Here we'll go for a tavern. Kadar Gimilthon, which is still... I think it's because the population is just horrendously low here. So we'll go for some crop rotation. Fanyalond. We'll do a shipwright. It's a shame that the mercenary bug is still here, because I could just hire armies. Yeah, no mercenaries available to recruit in that region. Right, Gobel Merlond. Warlord's Hall. Khaldun is still building. Ardamir. Go for a Great Hall. If Harad turn on us, we'll be able to churn out an army really, really fast. Tal Al Jaf. One more turn until the shipwright, and then we can upgrade that settlement. Okay.
Yes, my lord.
Right, so the question is here... I think I want to take the Black Gate first, because that basically locks this army out from doing anything all that dangerous. I think we probably want to be a little bit careful. The final thing is, how is Anilon making you minus gold after all this time? I've got no idea. I really don't. Its income is low. I really am not sure. I mean, the culture probably is... Even the culture isn't that bad. Corruption and devastation. Devastation? Oh, I see. Devastation must be because enedwaith are constantly in my lands. It might be because they've been parking big armies across their bridge, which, while it's right next to their town, it's technically in my territory. That might be why it's been such a disaster, and they've been constantly trying to blockade my ports, which, speaking of which, let's kill them. Right. We'll blockade their port. So yeah, we can't move there. Right, okay, yeah. So I think now what we shall do... This part of Osgiliath I'm maybe a little bit worried about, because that might be where they go. I'd rather they go for Calanhad, because we would easily kill them. Especially with reinforcements on the way up the river. I'll just save it.
Yes, my lord.
With honor, yes.
Right. Let's do it. Ooh, they've got an army here. This is actually an interesting little fight, this. Because if I win this, I probably take the Black Gate automatically. Okay, let's see what they've got. Some Olag High, which is actually their general. And you, the general himself, Burrs, you've got basically nothing. Orc Raiders? Yeah, bits of this army are made up of stuff like Orc Band and Raiders and Archers, which that's not what they want to be seeing, but some of it is Trolls, so this will be a decent little fight. Probably make your capital in Tol for last to cut down the corruption. Yeah, I was going to make... Well, actually, I'm going to make my capital Minas Tirith eventually, now that it's the Tower of the King. Because it makes more sense, right? What have we got going on here? Jesus. Wow, this map is something. Can they really deploy... Hang on a minute. Is there actually a way up there, or are they just going to die? Is this going to be one of those weird maps where their whole army ends up perishing because of weirdness? They'll probably deploy down here, won't they? Well, regardless, we're going to have to deploy further back. We should be okay. God damn, the terrain on this map, though. The seaward spears can sit here with the artillery. Right, we need to get some line infantry on the go. We've got a lot of Gondor infantry in this stack, which is actually not as good for us as the Nadu Tariq, because of the armour piercing that will be nice against the trolls. We've also got the javelin boys. Right, halberds. Can sit at the back here. Man, this terrain is... It took me by surprise actually quite how extreme this terrain is. We've got a lot of... I say we've got a lot of... We've got a decent amount of shock infantry. We also have some archers, which will be better than their orc archers. Right. I think that's the only place they can actually deploy, but maybe on the other side as well, sort of towards the two sides. Otherwise, I think their army dies instantly, doesn't it? Which would be embarrassing for them. Right, we'll just have to wait and see, I suppose, what they're actually going to do.
The enemy are bringing in reinforcements.
I mean, this is all well and good, but can they actually get down from there? Yeah, but the problem is with the mercenary system at the moment is after the first few turns, nothing happens with them. Right. Like, you can't really find them. Right, are they... Can they get down, or is this one of those weird situations where it's all over for them and I'll just have to back off for the time being. I mean, we can definitely get to these guys, which is nice. That's actually the general as well, so that would make auto-resolving situations a bit more favourable. You go there. I guess we'll leave you here. Just in case, we'll just have a bunch of units doing their thing. I mean, I'm 90% sure they can't get down from here. Maybe they can? Because this usually is impassable terrain when you run into cliffs like this, but maybe they can get down. I hope they can, because like we can win this fight if they can outright instead of having to retreat. And yes, Rosodans. No, it looks like they can get down. That looks incredibly strange, but look at this. Right, well, that being the case, let's... Right, one of you come over here like so. And the line infantry can get over here as well. The shock infantry can go there. Right, what can we charge into? Possibly the general wouldn't be the worst thing. Depends if the room that we've built up there is enough to actually get the business done. Actually, to be honest with you, the Gondor infantry should move this way, shouldn't they? That is weird. It's one of the strangest maps I've seen. One does not simply walk into Mordor. Not because of the orcs, but because of that. Right, yeah, the Rosadan bowman. Actually, you can go back over here as well, now that I know that ranged units are actually going to be somewhat useful. They actually did connect with that charge, which is gratifying. They're going to take a bit of damage on the retreat, though, I would imagine. The Uruk bodyguard themselves are AP, after all. But yeah, actually, you go over here, you go over here. For Gondor. Right. You go down here, because that's not enough room to build up a charge, is it? There we go. Marvellous. Right, ranged units are a bit of a concern here, because stuff like Orc Archers is going to have mega range on me. Actually, yeah, we don't need to be this aggressive against them, do we? We can just pull back. Deal with the reinforcing army first. Right. You can turn around and charge after them. Overload on you. We don't really need the Nadu Tariq over here, so you can chill out and take it easy for when the trolls inevitably rear their ugly heads. I'm curious, what do you think constitutes the as line infantry, sword and board? Well, really just heavy infantry like this. Like, there's only a few instances where I don't think that it applies, just having a shield and the like, and that is like the troll men, because they are like shock infantry essentially in terms of what they are. It's more of a soft system than something that's hard and fast, because really at some point you just know whether something is a solid unit of line infantry or not. Like the Gondor infantry clearly are. The Nadu Tariq are as well. Like AP is not enough to say, well, they're not line infantry anymore then, because the Nadu Tariq are definitely line infantry.
The enemy are badly bloodied. They have have lost half
Right,
their men.
what can we do here? Can we hit them yet? No. Right, Nadu Tariq can actually get in their own group. And the shock infantry can sit here as well. Right, Gimel Zor. Nice charge in the distance there. The numbers continue to plummet. You can pull back out. Yeah, keep going after the Uruk bodyguard. The Gondor infantry can handle this.
Good tidings.
There we go.
The general lies dead.
Oh, he's got a very bloody face, hasn't he? Poor man. Right, yeah. Shoot at them with the ballista. If we can kill the Olag High with the ballista, that will make our lives so much more stress-free. So hopefully it can happen. I think the AI is probably a little bit confused about this map as well. I mean, I certainly am. Mountain trolls. We've only really got spears over here, which is maybe a little bit of a concern. Right, you charge into them. You get back over here, because we don't need to go after the Uruk bodyguard anymore. I think just walking with your cavalry is better. Well, yeah, but the cavalry was only ever going to see use in one little area of this match anyway. I mean, maybe we can get them around to these sides as well. Yeah, kill the Olag High. Grill them. Maybe we can go after the mountain trolls with, or regular trolls, I should say. So we are going to be able to clean up these armies here. That's another nice charge. Yeah, you may as well chase them down. Make sure they're gone. And yeah, the Royal Guard are going to be useful. Other than the trolls, there's nothing really that concerns me here, and this could be actually a really efficient fight for us to have taken, even though I wasn't expecting another army. Mordor are pumping out more forces now at this point, which is actually nice to see that they're going to put up some resistance ahead of tomorrow, when I intend to hopefully finish the campaign. Ooh, close. Yeah, the ballista may as well be used for this purpose alone, really. Could be going after the javelins. Orc archers, that's a little bit of a frustrating addition to their army. Right, Azra Zaire. Right, they're starting to move forwards now. Yeah, one of you go after the Orc archers, the other one go after the Sauron's Will. If they want to get super close to the Marines, we'll just use up our ammunition on them now. That wasn't terribly impressive. I find walking cav to charge speed to be more consistent, because I can tell when the charge would be slow and pull them out. Yeah. Right. Oh, that was a little bit of an error. Get in there. Ar-Adunaim armsman. Yeah, we'll just roll forward with some force now. Hopefully we can get them out of there. Those are the Olag High as well, which are more of a concern. Right, cavalry. Get them around. Black Uruks. Yeah, shoot into the Orc band at the back, you may as well. Oh, they're going to squeeze on through. Yeah, the Olag Kai are taking some losses here at the hands of the Royal Guard, which is nice. Sauron's will are shaken. Go after the Olag Kai with you. Right. Infighting everywhere. There we go. This is the type of content I like to see. I think even the Olag... No, the Olag Kai aren't routing, but they are leaving. Which is somewhat interesting. Okay, get into the Orc band. Yeah, throw your javelins into the Olag Kai. God damn. That is good to see. There's one troll left over there. He will be brought down low. Right, okay, that's enough of that. You're gonna kill your own men if you continue to do that. Yeah, look at them rout. Right, and actually this is a good opportunity to try and get into enemy lines with them. The Olag Kai are continuing to roam around behind here. Right, an overlap is required. Okay, yeah. Gondor infantry need to move forwards, so do you. Charge into them. Okay, things are looking promising here. Right, a final... Is that enough to kill off that whole unit of Sauron's will? Probably not. No, it isn't. Okay. Well, curses.
The enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men.
Finish off that one Olag Kai. Surge forwards. Yeah, here we go. Don't know if we're going to be able to get all of them, so we might need to go after the Black Gate next turn, but most of these units are actually returning from routing, which is pretty nice. I think actually that last Olag Kai is the general, isn't he? Or at least the general was in this army, and I think he was the Olag Kai, so I think this is actually the leader of the Orc army, amusingly enough. But there's two of them left alive, so I assume the other one is the general model. Okay, just... can you finish this man off? Right. We're going to end up getting more friendly fire, so halt, if you please. Right, we can chase units down on this occasion. There goes the enemy general. So he was in and amongst things. With the same stats as an Olag Kai. Yeah, this was very, very successful. So yeah, going after the Orc archers, 156 strong. Now we need to chase them all down. And we have the opportunity to do that here. It's going to be a field day for our cavalry. Man, imagine if this was the other way round, this battle map. It would be more difficult than any siege for the AI. No, you don't need to go after that. Go after the Minas Morgul Chosen. A lot of units chasing them down. Finishing them off to a large extent. Still those Black Uruks down there, which we probably will miss, but... yeah, we're going to miss them. Maybe if they dodged, they won't, but this could be a unit which lives as a result, so I want to try and at least kill them off. Oh, that unit has left the battle, but it came back onto the battlefield. Okay, so that's going to be it for them, isn't it?
Be awed by the victory we have won here
Well,
today.
that was highly successful in my book. So that makes I don't know if we actually take Moran on automatically as a result of that because the garrison came out to meet us, or because we don't have movement, whether we don't, but we can auto resolve it next turn anyway. Yeah, we're executing them. There's a Nazgul right there as well. Will we get to occupy it? Yeah, we can. Moranon is empty, but we can't occupy it because we don't have the movement to do so, which is quite unfortunate. Lord Gimilzor, the Conqueror. Okay. Well, considering like Moranon at this point is all but occupied, I think that is a good place to leave the stream for today, because there is a couple of things I do need to do, and it's getting a little bit late to be doing them.
Yes.
So tomorrow we shall take Tharagrondost and effectively sort of stop our westward expansion. That will be the borders as they will be at the end of the game, I think. Use your squires to take the town. Can I do so?
Your orders, my lord.
No, I can't do it. Apparently it will not allow me to go that way. It will let me go the other way.
Yes, my lord.
That's really stupid.
We shall engage.
The cav can move further and take the settlement. Apparently it can't. Well,
As you command.
it won't let me. That's
Your
stupid.
orders, my lord.
Whatever.
Your will, my lord.
Anyway,
To battle.
another one of those intricacies. Keep an eye on this little army here. Dorwinian are further up this way, I assume. I think they've taken the town that exists
Question.
in this part of the Rovanian. Yes, Austin Airy.
What is it you wish to
How about a
discuss?
trade? And I'll give you map information. They're thinking about it.
How could we refuse such a generous offer?
There we go.
You have another worthy. Well, that seemed fruitful. Farewell.
Okay. Pull them back out a bit and then maybe go back in. I don't think it's going to work, Val. I think it's...
As you wish.
Oh no, there it is.
To war. The day is ours. We have
Exterminate the
fought,
populace.
my lord.
Your orders, my lord.
Okay. So yeah, that works. Excellent. Right, well, not military build policy. Growth as per usual. Go for the Dark Sanctuary. That was bizarre. But, there we go. So we have taken the Black Gate, or Moranon as it is known. So Durthang, Estolad and Barad-dûr are the only settlements that remain in this part of Mordor that we won. So yeah, that's where we're going to leave off for today. We're going to save it there. And we will continue at the same time tomorrow, all being well. There shouldn't be any reason why we don't. And yeah, so tomorrow should be the end of the Ar-Adunaim campaign, actually. It'll be one of those where I'll just go on for as long as need be, really. We'll push through Mordor. If Mordor don't put any resistance up to us taking Barad-dûr, depending on what sort of doom stacks appear and what sort of doom stacks don't, will determine whether or not the campaign ends with us sort of capturing Barad-dûr and northern Mordor, or whether we move our Gimmelcard back, basically load up a massive navy with most of our best units and try and take Mithlond. It would be an interesting way to end the campaign, I suppose, but we'll wait and see how much resistance Mordor actually put up and whether that's a worthy end to the campaign or not. But yeah, other than that, that is going to be the end. So stream same time tomorrow. I will put up a message on YouTube confirming that, basically. And also tomorrow I'll talk about the videos that are going to come out over the weekend as well. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you'll join me for whatever is next.